Today I'm going to show you guys how I draw eyes and basically how I keep them different from each other and like how I keep the variety in them. Of course, this is my own style, so I don't expect anyone to follow this extremely like by the book or by the video. Just take all of this with a grain of salt and keep that in mind if you can. But first, I'm gonna start by just drawing a simple eye, and this eye will just kind of be like an example, starting point, if you will, of like what's important. So right here, what I'm doing is I'm just drawing an example, but I'm putting special focus on the lash lines. So to get variety in your eyes, you really need to focus on separate things. And here I'm focusing on lash lines and how they can really put some oomph into your different types of eyes. So I make sure to, here I am fixing everything because of course I have to, even if it's just a tutorial. Putting a lot of emphasis on certain things in your eyes or in any facial feature will really drastically improve the variety and really the rest of the face, because it gives the viewer something to look at and to grasp onto. By me putting in these specific eyebrows and putting in these eyelashes I'm gonna add right now, it really adds more vocal points to the lash line and maybe the character's personality. With the arched eyebrow and how voluminous these lashes are, you can kind of guess that this person is into makeup, or they at least groom their appearance and take pride in it. Or they can be interpreted as just naturally gorgeous, like just unnaturally gorgeous, if you will. And, well, how your story needs it. I also put in a few lines underneath the eyes to try and give it more personality and variety against other characters I may have in the same story. So when you just look at the uncolored eye, you'll be able to tell the difference. Even if they don't have makeup on or something, you'll be able to tell the difference because of the specific features that I have put in here that may set it apart. There I wrote focus on lashes. They are important. Lashes are a really great way to add variety to your eyes because they can be so different from each other. They're really easy to add and they look very pretty. So very easy, very fun to add. I'm sure many of you like the eyes a lot and like lashes. So here we are with this other eye. I'm putting in an eyebrow cut because eyebrow cuts are very, very noticeable and they stand out to a lot of people. I'm also making sure to make it kind of messy, and I'm putting a lot of emphasis on the bottom lash this time. And I'm making it messy, like no makeup, maybe a little bit tired. This guy might be a little bit tired. I'm also putting in, all of the lines in the eye bags underneath the eye, because those are something that people remember. People remember very specific facial features, and these are specific enough to where someone would remember them if they saw them. So I'm putting a lot of emphasis and oomph on them. I put it on the top eyelid as well. Of course, the style is very messy, but you can, I guess, take inspiration from that as well. Don't be afraid to, get messy a little bit sometimes in your art. I'm also putting lines beneath the eyebrow because that can also be very helpful. Yep, lines are, are lines and creases. Add variety, they do. They add a lot of variety, and they are very good with personality pieces. They tell a lot about a character's personality, and they're good at portraying the emotional state. Maybe someone's stressed out, so they have a lot of lines under their eyes. Or maybe they're always stressed out, so they always have the lines under their eyes, or maybe they're older. They could also just, that could just be how their face is. And they could just, have the resting bee face, if you will. Yep, shapes are also very important. I was very shape-oriented with the first one, very angular, very sharp. Second one is messier. Not a ton of more prominent shapes, but still there. this last big, oh yeah, these are my eyebrows. I drew a couple eyebrow shapes because I thought it would be important to show you some variety in eyebrow shapes. Eyebrows are very, very important. Well, all of these are very, very, very important, I guess. Take a shot every time I say very, very important. But eyebrow shapes really set the mood. So the big ones, small ones, skinny ones, long ones, or shapes. Like here's like a little oval eyebrow you may have, or like a heart eyebrow. Heart eyebrows are very cute and they are very recognizable. Yeah, eyebrow shapes add variety. They're very good for personality as well, along with the lashes. If you really want to show a character's personality, try to do that a lot in either the lines around their face, their lashes, or their eyebrows, because that can tell a lot from a character. They're also very memorable. That's very good as well, because if you want your character to be remembered, try adding memorable features, like very interesting eyebrow shapes or interesting nose or interesting eyes, something like that, something that people will remember. Very, very useful. So, yeah, experimenting is really good. All these eyebrow shapes, you can add cuts in them like I did with the second eye there. You can, maybe you can add gradients in them. Or, really anything you can think of, anything that people do with their eyebrows. Maybe you can bleach your eyebrows, that's an option. But if we're just looking at shapes and without color, cuts are a really good way to add variety. Upcoming here is just a couple different eye shapes that you can take into consideration. The first one is very open. The second one is a little bit more relaxed with an emphasis on the bottom right. And then the one underneath that, emphasis on the bottom left. This one I've just drawn, it's open up, but it doesn't have a lot of clearance on the bottom there. This next one has more of an emphasis on the middle bottom, so it droops a little bit more. Eye shape variety helps. I'm waiting for me to write. I'm so slow. Eye shape variety helps a ton. Yep, an arrow. Okay. Well, up here, I think this is where I draw my examples. So, yeah, it is. So basically, what I'm going to do here is I draw the same eye shape and I copy it 3 times. And what you do here, sorry if I keep breathing into the mic. That's annoying. This is my first time recording ever. That's okay. Anyways, let's get into the actual tutorial. Sorry, I'm going to be messing a lot with this placement in a little bit. Sorry about that in advance. Anyways, I'm using the same exact eye shape 3 times, and I'm using different methods to try to make it look different. Here, I'm putting emphasis on the top lash and a little bit on the bottom lash here too. I'm also adding a line there. That big one is a line. I'm doing a small pupil here to try and add, to try to make it look more focused. Forgot to close that. I like to block out my pupils and my irises and all that together. I also added a bit of a bigger eyebrow to this one. It's angled more, and the eyebrow is very close to the eye. That is something you can use to your advantage. So making eyebrow placement is very important as well, because depending on how close the eyebrow is to the eye is also more recognizable. So I would recommend paying attention to how close the eyebrow is to the eye. Making it further apart can make it more recognizable. Making it closer can make it more recognizable. Most of your characters will probably be somewhere in the middle, but if you really want a character to stand out, try to make it much more further or much more closer. That may make them a little bit more recognizable in the future. Here I'm adding emphasis to both lashes actually, and I'm gonna do a larger eyebrow for this one. So this one is I guess an example of an emo boy, maybe. I don't know, that's what I was thinking while I was drawing it. I like to make the lashes go past the actual eye, because I feel like it both adds drama and, of course, recognizable. We're going back to the recognizable thing. All of this is really just to make your eyes more recognizable and memorable. Sharpness is important, and the shapes you want are important. So this guy's emo, I guess, or he's like more goth or edgy, so I gave him sharper points because that may give an indication of his personality. There's a hook at the end of his eyebrow, and I'm putting in 2 cuts because, again, cuts are nice and you can see them very easily. They also give good indication of, again, let's say it all together, personality and and being recognizable. This one I gave him more of a noticeable pupil. I tend to vary, I don't know what I thought I was doing there. I tend to vary my, the way I draw pupils and things. I may not draw an iris at all. I may make the pupil very small. I may make it big. I may make the iris big, or might not be there at all. Again, it depends. That is also a nice way to add variety. to spice things up. I don't know what else I thought I was doing there either. And I thought, oh, what if I added a little heart? You could do that. That's cute. I just didn't like it for this character. And then I'm adding the classic line. I think I was going to do something there, but I changed my mind. Oh yeah, adding the eyelid above the eye is also a nice way to add variety. If you want to add that in every single one, you could just like not do that. Well, all of this is optional. You could not do any of this, so I guess like whatever. Okay. So this one right here, I'm adding kind of with the second eye I did, I'm adding like a messy drama thing. This is a good way to do tired characters or more stoic characters who don't really take pride in their appearance. So with this eyebrow, I end up putting it much higher above the eye compared to the other ones, both for variety and so I can make more of a prominent eyelid, because, you know, eyelids are fun. And people don't notice it, but there's a lot of variety in eyelids, and I feel like putting effort into that can also set it apart from the others. So here I'm doing a smaller pupil, and pretty sure, yeah, I add a little bit more messy to the top. The biggest thing I'm doing here is experimenting. I would recommend everyone to just sit down and draw a page full of eyes, just different eyes, all completely different from each other like this. You can try using the same base a couple times to try to like really experiment, but you know, same face syndrome and avoiding it all really comes down to how you use features, how you do it differently. Yeah, I'll use the same base. Yeah, it really all depends on how you change up the features. I would recommend the easiest way to like change up your eyes from each other is to just like start with a different base. Like I use the same base here to show it can be done, to use the same base every time but make them all different. But I would definitely recommend using different shapes, different bases, trying to make them all different, because that will really help you out in the long run. That will make you improve more when this little guy trying faces. It'll make it easier. It'll boost you along, all that, you know, tons of pluses. All right, well, hello. That was my mom. Well, hope you liked this video. It's my first one. So many eyes. It's fun making this. Bye.